Welcome to episode 150 of the Beach Travel Wine podcast. Today we are taking you to Port Douglas, the chic little coastal village in far north Queensland that I reckon is a bit like the tropical Noosa of Australia. We'll tell you all about 4 Mile Beach, which is actually 7 kilometres of untouched sand with not a building in sight. We'll take you through the Daintree rainforest, the oldest rainforest on earth, including the time Lyle lost his wedding ring on a river tubing trip down the Mossman Gorge. And we'll head across the cable ferry to Cape Tribulation, where the two World Heritage Sites collide and the wildlife will keep you on your toes. Plus our favourite restaurants, the Sunday markets, and the very patient dive instructor who somehow gave us our scuba certification anyway. If you want to see all the photos from today's episode, the map with everything on it, plus lots of written info, then click the link to episode 150 in the podcast player you are listening on now. So please enjoy episode 150, all about Port Douglas in far north Queensland. Good morning, Lyle. How are you today?
Good morning, Leonita. Very good. Muy bien.
As I said in the intro, we are off to Port Douglas, or as I like to say, Noosa of far north Queensland.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
Now, how do we get there? Because it's not that far from Cairns, is it?
No, it's only about 68k north of Cairns, and basically there's shuttle services and there's
so you
taxis.
fly into Cairns.
Yeah.
You can fly internationally or from the major
domestic,
cities.
yep.
And that's right. There's a shuttle service right there. Or if you're renting a car, you pick it up from the Cairns airport. So yeah, it's pretty. What is it, about an hour? And it's a beautiful shuttle ride all the way to Port Douglas.
Yeah, it's all along the coastline.
Scenic, isn't it? Really nice. Perfect. And then same thing, you organise the shuttle to go back to the airport when you want to fly home.
Sure.
Yeah. Tell me a bit about Port Douglas. Like, obviously, it's not that far from Cairns and there's lots of stuff to do there, but how did it become a place to go?
All right. Port Douglas is a chic, relaxed coastal village in tropical North Queensland. The premier gateway to exploring two UNESCO World Heritage listed wonders, the Great Barrier Reef and the ancient Daintree rainforest. It's a laid-back, sophisticated tropical retreat that blends luxury resort with a charming small town seaside feel.
So there are lots of luxury resorts on the way in, and there's we haven't stayed at those. We've stayed at some nice smaller accommodations right in town, but those luxury resorts, they have shuttle buses as well that bring people into town, or there's like a taxi service as well.
I mean, it's only about a 5-minute drive, say from the Sheraton Mirage. It's only about a 5-minute drive, so it's not far out of town. But they do all the luxury hotels. There's, I think there's a Peppers, a Pullmans, and the Sheraton.
Yeah.
It's warm and sunny year round with an inviting dry season from May to October. Pretty much what put Port Douglas on the map was the opening of the International Cairns Airport and also Christopher Skase.
A well-known Australian businessman who was a bit dodgy.
Which is a bit dodgy, developers. Yep. Now, the history of Port Douglas. The Port Douglas township was established following the discovery of gold on the Hodgkinson goldfield by James Venture Mulligan in 1876.
So a bit like Cairns.
Yeah.
That's why it was settled.
Yep. Settlement of the wider region had been preceded by significant exploration, including Dalrymple's 1873 Northeast Coast Exploring Expedition, which identified the Mossman and Daintree rivers and recorded Island Point as an early name for the future Port Douglas, with prospectors requiring a more direct route to the Hodgkinson's goldfields than the existing road via Cooktown. Christie Palmerston blazed an overland track from Island Point to the goldfields in 1877. Now, that same guy, Mr. Palmerston, he was the guy that actually did the railroad to Kuranda.
Right, from Cairns.
Yeah, from Cairns. So he must have been a bit of a legend in his own lunchtime.
Yeah.
Known as the Pump Track, it became the primary inland route and established Port Douglas as a key port in North Queensland. By 1878, the population was approximately 400, with 18 licensed hotels.
So 400 people, 18 licensed,
Yeah, hotels.
And I think that was the bump track, not the pump track.
You are correct. And a wide range of trades and services established in the town.
So 400, 18.
Yeah, and I think the population now is only about 3,650.
So, I guess, though, pubs back then too were where people ate, where they did business, where they had accommodation, that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure.
All right. So As we said, it's a beautiful, chic place, a bit like Noosa. It's not that big. It's got a beautiful main street. But what are some of the main attractions? Like, why would people go to Port Douglas, say, over other places in Far North Queensland?
Okay, 4 Mile Beach in Port Douglas is a spectacular palm-fringed stretch of golden sand spanning approximately 7K.
And I'm just going to say we've been twice and I would go back again in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, I love Port Douglas.
Yeah.
It is famed for its calm, warm coral sea waters, natural, undeveloped backdrop, and opportunities for swimming, kite surfing, and sunrise strolls.
So this is episode 150, and I'll put a link to the blog post in the podcast description on the play you're listening on now. And I've got photos of all these places we're talking about. But when you're saying that 4 Mile Beach is natural, a lot of beaches now, they have buildings and
the high rise. Yeah.
You can't, when you're walking on 4 Mile Beach or 7 kilometres, you cannot see a thing. It's thick foliage, the palm trees, they're basically lying down across the sand, and it's a flat beach as well.
Yep.
And so it's great for walking. And when you say kite surfing, I'd be a bit anxious about that because there are crocodiles up in these waters, aren't there?
Yeah,
and stingers.
Yeah. There's the usual Australian menaces.
There are, but there is an enclosed swimming area, isn't there? And that's where there's lifesavers there as well.
Yep. Okay. The northern end of the beach is patrolled year-round by lifesavers, featuring stinger nets in the summer and a dedicated swimming area located at the rocky northern tip of the beach. The Flagstaff Hill Lookout offers sweeping panoramic views across the entirety of the 4 Mile Beach.
And I've got a couple of gorgeous photos of that as well. And that's a really nice walk to add on to the beach one. Now, when we were there too, you can they were hiring out chairs and umbrellas and things like that. So it's really quite comfy to sit there on the beach and read and then have a little swim. Yeah, great little spot.
It is one of my favourite parts of Port Douglas. Now, you mentioned McCrossan Street.
The main street. It's called McCrossan Street.
So the 350 main thoroughfare, McCrossan Street, is the bustling heart of the village.
350 metres.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shady African mahogany and palm trees line the walkable strip, which stretches from Dixon Inlet Marina at one end to the pristine sands of the 4 Mile Beach at the other. The street requires no traffic lights or parking meters, maintaining a highly relaxed resort-style atmosphere. A mix of casual breakfast cafes, breezy lunch spots, and premium evening dining venues, including Nautilus, Rass and Row, and just turn left at the end of the street for another favourite of ours, Salsa Bar and Grill.
So Lyle's mentioned those 3 restaurants. There are obviously a whole lot more, but those 3 are our favourite. And there was another one right in the main street that had the torches that we walked down. I think it was called the Water Vale or something. I'll find that one. It was right opposite where we did our scuba dive.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nice, had a nice atmosphere to it too. But those 3 restaurants, especially Nautilus, the photographs I've got of that are spectacular, outside on a deck and the beautiful chairs. They're just spectacular, aren't they? It's just gorgeous there. And it's where all the movie stars go and the famous people when they're in Port Douglas, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's probably 3 or 4 different levels. And I got these photos one night because we obviously go when it's light. And then as it got dark, I took some photos of the palm trees above our head as the night sky was coming and they lit up the beautiful palm trees. And the food, let's just say it was really nice too. And then one night we met an older guy, Mr. Walker, and he knew the owner or the chef, and he came out and had a chat to us, which was really nice, wasn't it?
And as it turned out, that particular gentleman, how we met him is Leanne and I were having dinner at the Rass and Row.
Let me tell the story. And I said to Lyle, there's an old guy there, he's chatting to the staff, and I just said, he looks a bit lonely. Why don't we invite him over for a drink, which we did, and we had a nice chat. And it turns out that this Mr. Walker was actually a friend of Lyle's first boss. So that was
Mr. Tom Payne.
Yeah.
So, that was small world.
So that was the Rass and Row, which was really nice. And the other one you mentioned was the Salsa restaurant, which once again was stunning. Now, if you're going to Port Douglas, you generally have to book ahead for these places before you get there. And depending on the time of year, you sometimes have to pay a deposit. But that's fine because it's refundable if you cancel within enough time, or it just comes off the cost of your meal. Other places along that main street, though, too, they're not all expensive restaurants. There's a bar that has pizzas and hamburgers, which is really popular. There's a Mexican restaurant, and obviously
that's right. We went to the Mexican.
Yeah, we did. And there's a couple of pubs that we're going to talk about in a minute as well. But it also has some really nice, as you said, fashion boutiques. And we've bought quite a few items of clothing and jewellery in these shops because they're just very different and really easy shopping. And it's a lovely main street. But it does have a little supermarket as well. So we've stopped and we've bought stuff at the supermarket so we can take that back to our apartment. One of the times we stayed, we were there for 3 weeks. So we stocked up on, obviously, drinks and food.
Yeah, there is just next to the supermarket, there's a really well-stocked liquor shop.
Yeah.
And great variety of wine.
So that's the main street, and it's not that long. As you said, it comes from the beach all the way over to the other end where the inlet comes in. So it's surrounded by water, really.
And then our favourite places to have a casual beverage.
Yes.
The pub and bar scene in town ranges across a few specific vibes, from historic outback style pubs to breezy waterfront haunts.
So the outback style one is sort of in the middle of the main street.
The venue, like the 1878 Central Hotel and the Courthouse Hotel, feature wide open timber decks, giant sail structure and lush tropical landscaping. They are the go-to for a family-friendly meal, catching a game on the big screen, or simply people watching on McCrossan Street.
Yeah, and so the second one is right on the corner, and so it's a great spot to sit.
Look, they're great pubs. They really are.
Lovely big decks, as you said, and verandas, so you can walk through the people as you're walking down the street, and then also a patio area like inside, with beautiful foliage. Lovely old pubs.
And you've got to remember, we're in North Tropical Queensland, so you're looking for breezes and that sort of thing during the day, and these places are just so well run. They're really, really, really great pubs. Then you've also got places like Hemingway's Brewery on the Crystal Brook Super Yacht Marina offers gastro pub experience where you can sip handcrafted beers right over the water. Similarly, the Shed provides a casual member-style vibe where you can enjoy drinks with unbeatable, relaxed views of the boats.
So the marina is where you catch all the boats out to the reef and fishing charters and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Hemingway's runs basically along most of that marina. But there are a couple of other smaller restaurants and shops there as well, and tourist offices and booking offices for the reef trips and that sort of stuff. So there's quite a lot there. But Hemingway's is definitely one of the most popular spots.
Yeah, it is. That's fabulous.
And the food there's great too.
The food was great. And also, as we said, the Shed, that's more for locals.
Yeah.
And
looks nothing from the outside, but it sits right on the water.
Right on the water.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a sunset dinner, it doesn't get much
better. But all
better.
this is in easy walking distance. They're all close together. It's not like you're going to need a taxi or anything to walk the main street and go down to the wharf area as well. Now, one of my favourite things at Port Douglas are the markets.
Yeah. Another must is the iconic Port Douglas markets, run every Sunday morning at Anzac and Markets Parks overlooking the Coral Sea. With over 150 stalls, Cotter's Market is famous for its strict rule that all goods must be grown, made or produced locally by the storeholders. Fresh tropical fruits, organic veggies, coconuts and sugarcane juice, handcrafted jewellery, Aboriginal artworks, pottery and driftwood mobiles, live buskers, ocean breezes and a stunning backdrop featuring the historic St Mary's by the Sea Chapel.
Yeah, I've got a nice photo of that. I've got some friends that actually had their daughter married there. It's a beautiful chapel, that one. But the markets, there's something you missed. Great coffee.
That's right.
Coffee there.
Yeah.
But I've bought a couple of things. I did buy some earrings there, which I still have and love.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I bought some beautiful body scrub. I'm not really a market person.
I was going to say, we're not really market people, but that particular market.
Well, because most people just have the same stuff that they buy in and on sale, whereas this was homemade or handmade stuff, which is really unusual things. And it's a lovely place to wander around. It's under the shade of the trees. It's on the water. As you said, you get the breezes. It's really nice. And that's every Sunday, isn't it? So,
yep.
So, as I said, we've been twice. Why did we go, Lyle?
The first time was to obtain our PADI open water certification with quicksilver dive.
So there's a little story to this too. We'd been to Airlie Beach and we'd done introductory dive on the Whitsundays, and we were going to Port Douglas, and I was looking at the cost of doing another introductory dive and doing the day out. And then I thought, well, if we're going to be going out and trying to do some introductory dives every couple of days, or like 2 or 3 days, it's actually cheaper to do your certificate and you get to do 4 scuba dives with that. I'm not sure it was the best decision because we spent 2 days in a swimming pool. But anyway.
Okay, so I'll give you the rundown on what you need to do for the actual scuba dive course. You need to meet baseline fitness and medical standards, complete digital theory, and demonstrate basic in-water skills over a 3 to 4 day course. Day 1 and 2, complete essential skills training and quizzes in a heated pool and classroom at the Paddy 5-star facility. Day 3 and 4, board a custom-built catamaran for day trips to the outer reef, where you will complete 4 mandatory open water training dives under the supervision of your instructor.
That's called Argencourt Reef.
Oh, is it?
The outer reef, yeah.
Yeah. What was this instructor's name? Do you remember?
Jennifer.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. But let me tell you about Jennifer. Poor Jennifer. She did.
Yeah, poor Jennifer. Yeah.
We're the only two doing this course, and oh my gosh, she was so patient with us. And one of the things you do when you're diving is you always go with a partner and you do a check of each other. Make sure
the
equipment's working, everything's in order. And so Lyle and I are doing this, and I was like, yep, that's right. Yep, mouthpiece is right. Yep, you've got the tank on. Yeah, your zips are done up. You've got the, yep. So, and it probably took us a good 10 minutes to check each other's.
10 minutes is probably
7.
Well, whether it be 7 or 10.
Let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story. Excuse me.
Whether it be 7 or 10, it should have taken about 30 seconds.
Right, and that's what she was frustrated with. And thank you for taking my punchline. That was well done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we were taking this long, and Jennifer did get slightly frustrated, and she said that shouldn't take more than 30 seconds. So you need to check, then we're on.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of other things that we were a bit slow on the uptake.
Oh, when we went out to the reef and we did the dives, and I had to do it with the compass.
Yeah, it's like orienteering underwater. And Lyle wasn't very good at that, and so she wasn't sure if she was going to pass us. And we're like, we are never going to be in open water with a compass. Like, I know you've got to do all the standard things, but all we ever wanted to do was just be able to go on a boat and go off and scuba dive with the group, right?
Yeah, I think Jennifer might have been quite new, so she was making, I think, in her mind.
Story.
Sorry, go on.
She then came back to us the next morning when she was going to make Lyle redo the underwater compass test, and she had to talk to her supervisor, who said, what's the goal here? These people just want to learn to scuba dive. They don't have to have everything precise. They can do the safety stuff. They're fit. They can do all the stuff that they're not going to get any damage. So you probably need to be a little bit lenient on the exact thing. So she did, and she passed us. And I'm thinking that she might put a red cross on our scuba Paddy license if we ever showed up anywhere else.
And I think she may have resigned. I think she probably
was traumatised.
She was traumatised by us. But the silly part about that is I was already certified. I've done the course prior, and Leanne killed me. Leanne was so good, and I was.
But we loved the scuba diving was fun, and we've done quite a few scuba dives since then. So it's pretty nice to have your little Paddy card in your wallet when you're going somewhere to book in for a dive. You're like, yeah, here you go, and they look at you. Anyway, so that's, if you don't want to do your scuba dive certificate, then you obviously don't have to. There's snorkel trips, which I'd recommend anyway. Like if we were going back, I'd probably just do a snorkel because it's easier. You can do, as I said, go out to the outer reef, or there's some reefs in a bit closer. There's a whole range of different day trips and half-day trips for you to get onto the Great Barrier Reef.
Well, as you said, we did go back a second time, and the reason we went back a second time is because we had so much fun. During our second visit, we booked the Daintree Mossman Gorge River Tube Tour, which also included a Cape Tribulation and visit and Daintree Ice Cream Company visit. Just a short 20-25 minute drive from Port Douglas to the Daintree Rainforest. It is the oldest continually surviving rainforest in the world. Spanning roughly 1,200 square kilometres, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site where the ancient jungle meets the Great Barrier Reef. estimated to be between 135 and 165 million years old, home to 30% of Australia's marsupial, frog, and reptile species, and 65% of its butterflies and bat species. Surviving multiple ice ages and the extinction of the dinosaurs, the Daintree contains 12 of the world's 19 most primitive flowering plant families. David Attenborough famously called this breathtaking environment the most extraordinary place on Earth.
We actually spoke to our tour guide through Mossman
right.
Gorge, actually met Mr. Attenborough, didn't we?
Yeah, they were doing a documentary.
And I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was there to find one of these plants.
Endangered.
And they're looking. Anyway, the guide had some in his backyard. So
it had. Yeah.
So he brought it in and made it look like
David found it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a funny story.
Now, it averages 9.2 metres of rainfall.
Just think about that, 9.2 metres. So for those people who don't know metres, so there's 3 feet to every metre. It's over 27, 28 feet of rain.
Yeah, so that's each year.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Mossman Gorge, famous for its crystal clear waters, tumbling over giant granite boulders, lush rainforest, and suspension bridges.
Oh, it's some beautiful photos of this, of the crystal clear water, one of the bridges, and also us doing our river tube. So can I talk about that now, or are we going to come to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, so I wanted to do this. So you get another time to put a wetsuit on in water in Far North Queensland.
And it was cold, the water, I remember that.
Phooey. Lyle thinks the tap water's cold. So you get a float and you start up the top of a very mild rapid, and you get instructions at the top. And what they say is you lie down, and if you think you're going to come off, don't put your hand in the water and don't get off. Just keep your hands on the raft and just call, because they can hear you. So everyone's got the instructions. Yes, yep, all good. The minute we start, what does Lyle do? Everyone else is sliding down the rapid under the palm trees in this beautiful Mossman River, and Lyle's started to come off, so he's put his hand down and he's come off and he's just sitting there. And so someone had to go all the way back up the rapids and get him, and he lost his wedding ring.
I did.
So by putting his hand in the water, he didn't enjoy the experience. I loved it. And once we got down to the bottom, you just floating there, looking up. It was really, and I would do that again without you and your jewellery.
Can I?
Can you defend yourself?
Well, yeah. Well, talking about jewellery, what happened was that it was actually very, very shallow, and obviously the way that the route that I had taken, it was a little bit too shallow. So when I was actually going down, my private parts were hitting the bottom, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable. So my family jewels were at risk as well.
You weren't lying on the tube like you were told to. So
anyway, so basically the moral to this story is obviously don't take Lyle scuba diving or on river tubing.
Lyle normally listens to every instruction and follows it to a T, so I'm not quite sure what happened with this one, to be honest. Sorry. Then we went on to the Cape Tribulation, didn't we?
Yeah, well, just to finish off for the Mossman Gorge, there's an award-winning ecotourism facility at the park entrance that offers Indigenous art gallery, cafe, and guided tours.
The guided tour was amazing. You don't know what you don't know until you do that. I'd highly recommend it.
The gorge area features a 2.4-kilometre loop walk and elevated boardwalks with spectacular lookouts over the river and mountain ranges.
And once again, check the link in the podcast description, because I've got photos of the gorge, the walkway, and Lyle and I are now tubing on the...
Oh, yeah. The Port Douglas is an adventure capital.
All right, so let's talk about Cape Tribulation, shall we?
After our river tubing experience, we headed off for our 1.5-hour drive to the Daintree Ferry Terminal, which is the only vehicle and passenger access point across the Daintree River to reach Cape Tribulation and the northern Daintree rainforest. There are no bridges built across the river to preserve the region's remote, eco-friendly nature and protect the habitat from over-tourism. It's a cable ferry that takes about 5 to 10 minutes and operates continuously daily from 5 a.m. to midnight. Standard return tickets are roughly $45 Australian. You need to visit Cape Tribulation because it is the only place on the planet where two UNESCO World Heritage Sites collide. The 180 million year old Daintree rainforest and the Great Barrier Reef. You can wander easy self-guided tracks like the Kulki, which is Kulki boardwalk, or take on the challenging Mount Sorrow Ridge Trail, which is 7K return, 4 to 6 hours, and it's actually quite hard. It's rated at 5, so you're going to be pretty fit to do that. You can also snorkel the vibrant, less crowded fringes of the Great Barrier Reef directly from the beach with operators like Ocean Safari, soar through the canopy on a zip line with jungle surfing canopy tours.
Now, we did a tour and we went across the cable ferry.
Yep.
On the way, there was a dirty big crocodile sitting on the edge of the bank of the river. So I've got a photograph of that as well. We did a short walk through the rainforest.
Yeah.
But there are so many things there that might kill you that...
Okay.
Okay. Lyle wants to tell you.
Look, honestly...
But okay, there's those that want to kill you, including the cassowary, although they rather stay away. But we did see cassowary in the wild, and everyone was hoping to. It was only a little one, but it was walking across the road ahead. And we actually, when we got to the Cape Tribulation, there's a lookout that you walk up to, and it is pretty spectacular.
Oh, it is. I mean, look, I agree. But when I was doing the research on this, I'll read this out because I found it very amusing. Cape Tribulation, although beautiful, is considered potentially dangerous. It is a remote wilderness. This intersection creates a gauntlet of apex predators in the water, highly venomous marine life, and formidable wildlife and plants on land. So you've got saltwater crocodiles, you've got the lethal marine stingers, you've got the deadly flora. So there's the stinging tree and there's the wait a while, and if you touch them, they just cling to you. The cassowaries, as Lan said, now the cassowaries are related to the dinosaurs, and so are the crocodiles. And they're the biggest bird on Earth. Obviously, you've got the venomous snakes. And, of course, if you do get bitten, you're so isolated, no one can come and get you.
There are camping areas there, and there are cafes and restaurants.
Yeah, but it's camping areas. There's no real infrastructure there.
No, but they would have first aid kits, you'd imagine.
Oh, I'm not sure that's going to help you with the crocodile.
Anyway, we're trying to encourage people to go. We never felt unsafe. The only thing we saw was a baby cassowary and a big crocodile on the side of the river, and it was absolutely stunning, and everyone should go to this pristine part of the world that is so unique. You don't get this anywhere else, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do you know why it's called Cape Tribulation?
No.
Well, because Captain James Cook, who was an English sailor and navigator, and he had hit rocks and the reef off Cape Tribulation, and that's why he called it Cape Tribulation, because he had a lot of problems there.
Good to know. All right.
You'd be excited about that.
All right, we need to keep moving along. So we've done our day trips. We've been out to the reef. We've been to Mossman Gorge. We've lost a wedding ring. And but let's just talk a little bit about some accommodation styles in Port Douglas, because there's a whole range, isn't there?
Well, I've got actually accommodation in Mossman Gorge.
Oh, there's some there too.
Yeah,
great. Okay.
Yeah. Which I wasn't aware until I did the research. Options at Mossman Gorge range from rainforest luxury, which includes the Silky Oaks Lodge and Marley, both renowned Ego Lodge retreats, to convenient budget stays including Mossman Gorge Bed and Breakfast and Mossman Caravan Park.
Cool.
And accommodation at Port Douglas?
Yes, as we mentioned, they've got those luxury ones.
Yeah, Port Douglas offers a diverse accommodation scene ranging from iconic 5-star beachfront resorts and private luxury villas to spacious self-contained apartments, boutique romantic hideaways, and immersive eco resorts hidden in the nearby rainforest. Renowned properties like the sprawling beachfront Sheraton Mirage Resort offers lagoon-style pools, golf course, and direct access to 4 Mile Beach. So, look, I don't think there's any cheap accommodation in Port Douglas. There's no caravan parks or anything like that.
Remember I was talking about restaurants in the main street and said there was one that had pizza and burgers. It was more a family one. That's called Rattle and Hum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's quite big. And then we're talking about the shed, but it's actually called the real name is the Port Douglas Yacht Club.
Okay.
And the other restaurant I talked about that we'd been to that we didn't mention is called Watergate. That was the one.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And another one that's well known is Melaleuca, and we mentioned the Salsa Bar and Grill. There's a nice Asian one, which is called the Star of Siam, which has got all the nice Asian fusion. And there's a tapas one as well. So that's across from the church, St. Mary's by the Sea, called Sea Bean Tapas. So lots of different varieties of food there. So
I think we ate at that tapas bar.
Okay.
We did. Yep, we did. And I'm pretty sure that Siam was opposite the accommodation we stayed when we did the.
Sure. You're right. So there's
the dive course, and it was really good.
Yeah, there's lots of.
Actually, to be honest, we've eaten a lot in Port Douglas, and I've never had a bad meal.
What was the one where it was called Mama's Kitchen or something? Remember when we had that beautiful Tasmanian?
Oh, yes.
Wine?
Yes.
Casa de la Mama or something. The food there was great.
It was just off the main street. Yeah. And
Stefano
Lubiano.
Yeah,
Stefano Lubiano. We had I think
nice
it was a Sauvignon Blanc, and we had never had it before.
Yeah.
And so when we went to Tassie, we actually went there, and nice wine.
Yeah, so there's lots of nice places to eat.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up a few things, like you can hire bikes as well, which
I did.
You did, because Lyle would ride because we were there 3 or 4 weeks, and he would ride down to the
Sheraton Mirage has a 25-meter
swimming pool
for lap pool for the guest, but casual people can go there as well. So I used to ride my bike down there.
Yeah. Obviously the beach walk's really nice. We did a fishing charter as well. There's quite a few, and I caught a mangrove jack, which is one of the hardest fish to catch. The guy was actually very impressed, wasn't he, with that fish? And don't worry, I'll put a photo of me with my mangrove jack fish. And
I didn't catch anything.
And obviously the snorkel and the scuba. But if you don't want to do that, there's actually just boat charters that go out for the day too. So there's a whole range of stuff that you can do, or just wander around the town and enjoy the shops. Now, where was your favourite place to have a glass of wine, Lyle?
Oh, I'd have to say Nautilus.
Oh, I was going to say Nautilus. Okay. Well, I'm going to go the Yacht Club or the Shed. I think that's pretty atmospheric, and it's right on the water, and I did really enjoy that.
And their prices, I remember their prices of the meals were as reasonable as anywhere. And the pubs are reasonable too, price-wise.
We've talked to people who say it's often busy. We haven't had that experience, but I think it's the time of year you go and what you want to do. But I would recommend, if you're going to book your tours, if you don't want to hire a car, because we don't like doing that, but if you want to book your tours to Mossman Gorge, do any of the activities, Cape Tribulation, or any of the snorkel or scuba things, I'd certainly make sure you didn't leave it till the last minute.
Pre-book them. I agree.
So check out the blog post that goes with this. As I said, episode 150, and I've got photos of Mossman Gorge, of Cape Tribulation, of scuba diving, of the reef, of some of the restaurants as well, and us doing all sorts of fun stuff in Port Douglas. Yeah. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Go and check out the blog post. It has the pictures and it has a map with everything on there, so you can have a look at where you want to go, so you can plan your own trip. And you never know where we're going to turn up next time.
Yeah,
so it's goodbye from me.
And it's 150 episodes this one, and everybody said it wouldn't last. Anyway, see you later.
Bye.
It's been fun.